This week marks one of the busiest and most consequential periods for the Trump administration so far. As the president moves through the storied halls of the White House, his team is hard at work, preparing for a series of high-stakes meetings and critical decisions that could shape the nation's future. The atmosphere is charged with anticipation, as both supporters and critics watch closely to see how the administration will respond to a rapidly evolving set of challenges. The administration faces a packed agenda, with significant domestic and international challenges demanding immediate attention. From the halls of Congress to the world stage, President Trump and his advisors are navigating a complex landscape. The week's events are being closely followed by the media, with headlines around the globe reflecting the gravity of the moment. Issues ranging from national security threats to economic uncertainty are at the forefront, requiring swift and decisive action. President Trump is set to address the nation on matters of national security and economic stability, placing a strong emphasis on law and order. In a series of public statements and private meetings, he will outline his administration's strategy to keep Americans safe and ensure the continued growth of the economy. The president's message is clear: maintaining security at home and abroad is essential for prosperity. A new executive order signed this week specifically targets extremist groups believed to be responsible for recent unrest in several major cities. The administration's goal is to dismantle these networks and restore peace to affected communities. Officials say the order will provide law enforcement with new tools and resources, while also sending a strong message that violence and disorder will not be tolerated. The move has sparked debate, with some praising the decisive action and others raising concerns about civil liberties. On the international front, President Trump will address the United Nations General Assembly, where he is expected to focus on global security, fair trade, and America's role in the world. His speech will highlight the importance of international cooperation in combating terrorism, promoting economic growth, and addressing emerging threats. The president's remarks are anticipated by world leaders and diplomats who are eager to hear America's vision for the future. In addition to his address, President Trump will hold a series of bilateral meetings with key world leaders. These discussions aim to advance American interests abroad, strengthen alliances, and negotiate new agreements on trade, security, and technology. The administration believes that direct engagement with foreign counterparts is essential for building trust and achieving lasting solutions to global challenges. Domestically, the administration is highlighting a series of strong economic indicators, including robust wage growth and historically low unemployment rates. Officials point to these numbers as evidence that the president's policies are working, creating new opportunities for American workers and families. The positive economic news is being shared widely, with the hope that it will boost public confidence during a time of national unease. In his remarks to business leaders and the public, President Trump will emphasize the administration's commitment to deregulation and pro-growth tax policies. He will argue that reducing bureaucratic red tape and lowering taxes have unleashed innovation and investment across the country. The president is expected to outline new initiatives aimed at supporting small businesses, encouraging entrepreneurship, and ensuring that American companies remain competitive on the global stage. Ultimately, the administration hopes that this wave of positive economic news will provide much-needed stability and reassurance to the American people. As the nation faces uncertainty and division, President Trump's team is working to project confidence and unity, believing that a strong economy can help bridge divides and foster a sense of shared purpose. The week ahead will be a test of leadership, strategy, and resolve, with the eyes of the world watching every move. In a move that has sparked intense national debate, President Trump has officially signed an executive order at the White House, a moment captured as he put pen to paper, making a significant mark on the nation's approach to domestic security. This executive order designates Antifa, a loosely organized anti-fascist movement, as a domestic terrorist organization. The announcement made headlines across the country, with news outlets and law enforcement agencies quickly responding to the administration's decision. By labeling Antifa as a terrorist group, the order grants federal agencies, including the FBI and Department of Justice, expanded authority to investigate, monitor, and prosecute individuals believed to be affiliated with the movement. This means that federal law enforcement can now use a broader range of surveillance and investigative tools previously reserved for international terrorist threats to track suspected members and supporters. The administration justifies this action by pointing to what it describes as organized, violent activity that goes far beyond the bounds of legitimate protest. In recent years, several demonstrations have escalated into violent confrontations, with property damage, arson, and clashes between protesters and police becoming increasingly common in cities across the United States. Attorney General William Barr has publicly stated that the actions attributed to Antifa meet the federal definition of domestic terrorism, emphasizing the government's commitment to restoring order and holding those responsible for violence accountable. The decision to designate Antifa as a terrorist organization follows a series of high-profile incidents, particularly in cities like Portland and Seattle, where protests have sometimes devolved into chaos. Images of burning vehicles, shattered storefronts, and masked demonstrators have fueled public concern and political pressure for a stronger federal response. In response, the Department of Justice and the FBI have pledged to use every legal tool at their disposal to counter what they describe as a growing threat to public safety and national security. This includes increased surveillance, intelligence gathering, and coordination with local law enforcement agencies. However, the executive order has not gone unchallenged. Civil liberties advocates and legal experts warn that such a broad designation could lead to government overreach, potentially infringing on the First Amendment rights of free speech and peaceful assembly. Critics argue that targeting a loosely defined movement sets a dangerous precedent and risks criminalizing dissent. As a result, legal challenges to the executive order are already being prepared, with advocacy groups and affected individuals vowing to fight the designation in federal court. The coming months are likely to see a heated legal and political battle, as the nation grapples with the balance between security and civil liberties in a time of heightened unrest. A key part of the executive order is dismantling Antifa's financial networks. The Treasury Department will lead efforts to trace funding sources. Investigators will scrutinize crowdfunding platforms and cryptocurrency transactions. The goal is to cut off financial support for illegal activities. Financial institutions must report suspicious transactions linked to Antifa. Severe legal and financial consequences await those providing material support. The investigation aims to uncover whether funds come from wealthy donors or foreign adversaries. The nation mourns the assassination of Charlie Kirk, a prominent conservative activist. Kirk was shot leaving a speaking event, sparking widespread condemnation. His death leaves a void in the conservative movement and highlights political discourse issues. President Trump condemned the act and called for national unity. The FBI leads the investigation, with the suspect linked to extremist groups. The assassination intensifies focus on groups like Antifa. It serves as a grim reminder of the consequences of extremist rhetoric. Following Kirk's assassination, the administration criticizes Congress for failing to condemn political violence. A bipartisan resolution denouncing violence has stalled amid partisan division. Democrats resist naming Antifa, fearing it legitimizes the president's executive order. The impasse highlights Washington's polarization. The administration uses congressional inaction to justify its executive actions. The failure to pass a resolution underscores the deep political chasm. The administration vows to pressure Congress but proceeds with its agenda. The administration releases a report on left-wing political violence. The document lists major incidents over the past year, countering the narrative of right-wing violence. It highlights attacks on public figures and destruction of businesses. The report argues these acts are part of an organized movement. The administration uses this evidence to justify the executive order targeting Antifa. The report concludes that these incidents pose a grave national security threat. President Trump's days are meticulously planned, with each hour dedicated to a blend of diplomacy, policy, and leadership. From the moment he steps into the historic halls of the White House, he is surrounded by a flurry of activity, advisors briefing him on the latest developments, stacks of documents awaiting his review, and a constant stream of decisions that shape the nation's direction. His schedule is a testament to the demands of the presidency, balancing urgent matters at home and abroad. Today, the president will make a significant announcement at the National Institutes of Health, unveiling a comprehensive autism policy initiative. This initiative aims to increase funding for research, improve early diagnosis, and expand support services for families affected by autism. By collaborating with leading scientists and healthcare professionals, the administration hopes to accelerate breakthroughs and ensure that every child has access to the care they need. The event highlights the president's commitment to advancing medical research and supporting vulnerable communities. Later, the president will take the world stage at the United Nations General Assembly in New York. In his address, he will emphasize the importance of national sovereignty, urging nations to respect each other's independence while working together on global challenges. The speech is expected to touch on issues such as international security, economic cooperation, and the need for reform within the UN system. His remarks will be closely watched by leaders and diplomats from around the globe. Throughout the week, the president will engage in a series of bilateral meetings with world leaders. These discussions are crucial for addressing complex geopolitical issues, from trade negotiations to regional security concerns. Each meeting is an opportunity to strengthen alliances, resolve disputes, and promote American interests on the international stage. The president's diplomatic efforts are supported by a skilled team of advisors and interpreters, ensuring that every conversation is productive and meaningful. A key highlight of the week will be the president's meeting with Turkish President Erdogan. The two leaders will hold crucial talks on regional stability, counterterrorism efforts, and economic cooperation. Their discussions are expected to address ongoing challenges in the Middle East and explore new avenues for partnership between the United States and Turkey. The outcome of this meeting could have significant implications for both nations and the broader region. In addition, the president will meet with leaders from India and Brazil to discuss ways to strengthen economic partnerships. These meetings will focus on expanding trade, fostering innovation, and creating new opportunities for investment. By building closer ties with these emerging economies, the administration aims to boost American exports and support job growth at home. The president's commitment to international cooperation is evident in his efforts to forge lasting economic alliances. The week will conclude on a lighter note, as the president attends the prestigious Ryder Cup golf tournament. This event, which brings together top golfers from the United States and Europe, is a celebration of sportsmanship and national pride. The president's presence underscores the importance of unity and friendly competition, both on and off the course. As the nation watches, the president takes a moment to honor American athletes and enjoy a cherished tradition, capping off a week of intense diplomacy and leadership. The White House highlights positive economic developments amid national security focus. Mortgage rates have fallen, boosting the housing market. Gas prices have dropped, benefiting consumers. Wage growth outpaces inflation, increasing purchasing power. The stock market remains resilient, reflecting investor confidence. A major automaker's investment in Ohio creates thousands of jobs. The administration celebrates these indicators as proof of its pro-growth agenda.